Hi, my name is Lady, and I want to briefly talk about why I legally changed my name in 2024. Okay, before I get into the reasons, let me actually share a backstory about my birth name. I was named by my father, who passed away in 2017. According to him, he actually told me this. He designed my name before I was even born. Secondly, my name in Ijaw, which is my father's tongue, roughly translates to I have dropped my leg in the world, but I usually went with the metaphorical translation, which means I have left my footsteps behind. Third thing is I actually loved my birth name, and I didn't change my name because I hated it or because I wanted an easier name. In fact, I'd always wanted an English name, so there were plans initially a few years ago to add an English name, but the decision to do a full name change didn't come about until maybe the end of 2023. So the first reason I changed my name is because for as long as I've known myself, I have always valued independence and autonomy. My father raised me to be an independent person. I cracked this joke with members of my found family that my father raised me as a second son. I was his first daughter. I am his first daughter, but he raised me almost like a man would raise his son, right? And I'll say more about my father in a memoir that I'm working on about his life and death. But my point is, my dad is the reason why I value independence and autonomy. I am my own person, and just because I share the same DNA or family name with a group of people doesn't mean that I am like them or I am 24/7 tuned into their behaviors and what they do, or that we are best friends or close friends simply because we are related by DNA, blood, or by family name. The second reason why I changed my name is actually connected to my father's legacy. My father was what people would describe as a legend in the Nigerian, but also I would say African banking and financial industry. My father believed very strongly in education, was well traveled, worked for really great companies, and was a fantastic person all around. But I found that especially after he died, people would refer to me as Tech's daughter. And in my head, I was always like, yeah, okay, I'm more than that though. Like, I am not just his daughter. In fact, my father didn't even raise me to feel entitled to his own legacy. I know that I am a part of his legacy because, he was, part of the duo that brought me into this world. But I am my own person, and my own person is Lady K. Right, not Tech's daughter, So yes, my father had a brilliant professional legacy and in many ways a brilliant personal legacy as well. But my father also made decisions that did affect me negatively. Like, for example, he witnessed, heard from me personally many instances of very sadistic abuse and very, very sadistic punishments. And he didn't do enough to protect me from the perpetrator, and he could have. He had the finances to do it. He had, to a degree, the support system to do it. But again, I mean, he's late now, so I can't ask him why he didn't do that. But he was the parent, and he was responsible for ensuring that I was safe and protected. And while he fulfilled his responsibility as a father, meaning he trained me, put me through school, and I am forever grateful for that, I cannot erase the fact that he allowed someone have access to me in a way that harmed me for many years. The third reason is genuinely, I wanted a name that could work in every aspect of my life. Professionally, I'm a multimedia journalist. I work in communications. I'm a startup storyteller. I also perform poetry as well. And Lady K is sort of a stage name as well. And when I've introduced myself as Lady or Lady K, people say, is this a stage name? Is this a real name? That was exactly why I chose the name that I did, because I wanted a name that could translate across the board, right? So when I'm performing, hosting conferences, or just doing my professional 9 to 5, Lady K is easy to say, remember, and spell. And finally, there are a few members of my extended family that are really not good people. And despite having countless conversations with these family relatives about their behaviors, about the way they speak, not just to me, but speak about my father. I mean, extremely disrespectful things they have said to my face about my father, who was a good man. And they also directly benefited from his wealth, from his network, from his experience. So it's a bit jarring to hear people who benefited from a good man's wealth speak very badly about him. So for me, changing my name was my way of creating a safe distance between myself and these family relatives. Again, something adulthood has taught me is that just because you share the same last name with a group of people doesn't mean that you have to ride for them or you have to endure or tolerate their bad behavior, right? And the thing about these specific set of individuals is that there has been such a reluctance to change, to self-reflect. Sometimes apologies will come and then like 2 weeks later, right back at the same thing, right? So at the point that I decided I was going to change my name, I reached a place of radical acceptance about the fact that these individuals had no desire to change. And the mere fact that you're going to disrespect my father's name is enough for me to say, I want absolutely nothing to do with you. I don't want you in my life. I don't want you knowing anything about me. I don't want to be associated with you. I don't want to be affiliated with you. If I have children, you will never know them. If I get married, you will never know about it. You will never be invited to anything. And it doesn't matter if people label me as a bad family member. I don't care, because again, I want to know how many people will hear someone disrespect a man who trained and raised them, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, okay, cool, we're besties, all right, forgive or forget. Absolutely not. To close out this video, I'm going to address some of the common questions I get asked. Number one, a question I get asked a lot is, did you inform your family, extended, nuclear family, that you are going to change your name? No. Why would I tell my ops that I was going to do something like this? Now, the name change process in Nigeria and even in some states in America require you to put out a newspaper clipping announcing that you are changing your name, and you have to put that out for 21 days. And guess what? People are allowed to contest that. So I kept it a secret because I didn't want my problematic family relatives to try to sabotage that, as they have sabotaged many things in my life from when I was young and well up until 2023. Another question I get asked, which I find extremely jarring, is, what would your father have thought about this? Or I've heard your father would not have been happy with this decision. To those people, honestly, genuinely, I'm so sorry, but you couldn't be more wrong. I've said this a few times, but I was one of my father's primary caretakers while he was in the hospital, and the other caretaker was a non-family member. My father, wherever he is cheering me on and applauding me, because before my father passed, he was making plans to get me situated in my own place, because I'm sure he realized that I was doing very well in my career and I needed to be in a safe environment so I could grow and thrive in the same way that he grew and thrived as a result of the people that were around him and the environment that he grew up in, right? So I 100% believe my father would have been proud of me. And if my father was alive and I wanted to change my name, I would have just said to him, I want to change my name. Sure, he would have asked me questions, but he wouldn't have said, no, you can't. Right? Because again, from the age of 18, you can change your name as an adult in Nigeria. So if I'd wanted to do it at 27, 28, 30, I don't think that my father would have been angry. Maybe he would have felt just some, like he named me or something like that. But my father is 100% okay with this decision. And then a final question I get asked is, why lady? Why lady? Well, I grew up reading English literature. I grew up reading Shakespeare and Jane Austen. I studied English language and creative writing university. So the word lady, yes, it's an honorific, but it's also a title. And for me, it's a bar. Okay, so it helps me make certain decisions, like, would a lady do this? Would a woman of nobility and status behave like this, respond like this? And for me, it guides me. It helps me remember who I am and who my father raised me to be. And as for K is actually an amalgamation of my birth names, Kay. So yes, like I said, I don't dislike my names. As a matter of fact, I love my middle names, and a few of my found family members call me by one of my middle names, and I love it, right? But yes, in a way, I still wanted to honor my father by keeping the names that he gave me. But as far as the family name goes, the only person I owe any kind of loyalty to is Talkeme Edwin Koroye, and he died in 2017. And he died knowing that I loved him very much. And so the life I live, the legacy I want to build for myself is Lady K's legacy. It's not Tech's legacy. It's not a Koroye family legacy. It's my legacy. It's my life. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for watching and listening. Until the next video, a bientôt. Mwah.